Welcome to the Shan Discussions. Today is January 24th, 2012, and I want to cover one primary topic today. This topic is racism. Right, we all know about Mr. Ron Paul being accused of racism. People have asked me the question online, hey Shan Club, what do you think about Ron Paul and the fact that people are saying he's a racist and so forth and so on. And these are funny. Now, in regards to the 92 LA riots, they're saying that Ron Paul supposed to have printed this statement of his supposedly in his newsletter. And the statement goes, order was only restored in LA when it came time for the blacks to pick up their welfare checks. And they're saying that this is a racist statement. Now, this may be a racist statement to racist white bigots who want to sound cool to black people, like, oh, they said that, oh my god. But to black people, it sounds like, damn, you know we ain't gonna be riding on the 1st and the 15th, motherfucker. You gotta be kidding me. It's funny as hell. But I'm gonna move on, and I'm gonna go to a more serious statement, because this is a joke. Check this out. Here's the other one. About the riots, it says, the criminals who terrorize our cities in riots and on every non-riot day are not exclusively young black males, but they largely are. As children, they are trained to hate whites, to believe that white oppression is responsible for all black ills, to fight the power, to steal and loot as much money from the white enemy as possible. And both of these statements are dated June 15, 1992. Okay, I'm going to go through it again, and I'm going to stop and comment as I go through. Okay? The criminals who terrorize our cities in riots and on every non-riot day are not exclusively young black males, but they largely are. White kids aren't hanging out at night with guns, selling drugs, and shooting everybody who is not from their neighborhood. That's a black thing. I don't find that to be a racist statement at all. I find that to be a statement of fact. I used to be one of them, out there in the streets, in the hood, with my gun. Okay, the police come, he don't even arrest me because he know I have a gun. As children, they are trained to hate whites, to believe that white oppression is responsible for all black ills. That's a statement of fact. Okay, if you doubt it, ask Pam Grier. Ask Superfly. Ask all them Quentin Tarantino hero movies. Okay, the man. We gotta be against the man. We gotta sell this drugs and do this type of thing because the man won't let us work in the system, brother. This is the stuff we were raised. This is a statement of fact. This isn't a racist statement. Then it says, to fight the power. That sounds like Chuck D. Okay? To steal and loot as much money from the white enemy as possible. That's what they were doing when they were out there destroying the community and robbing all those stores. How is this a statement of a racist statement? It sounds like a statement of facts to me. Okay? So I'm going to address these issues really quick by talking about what is racism. Racism is when Bill Clinton make everybody money and build all those prisons to put all the black people in. The black folks that Ron Paul keeps saying, hey guys, blacks are the minorities, but they make up a majority in the prison system. Bill Clinton built the most prisons. 2. All these so-called black hero preachers that won't tell you the facts, okay? That you never read the gospel, they never read the gospel. You were given a deception. And they branded it King James Version, Gideon Version, the New Testament, called the Old Testament, wasn't working too well, so we got to get the New Testament, called the New Testament, wasn't working that well either. And you eat that up. Then they paint for you people who you know isn't Jesus Christ, put it on the wall, and you know these people are not that white man on the wall is not Jesus. It ain't Adam. That man up there reaching his arm out, that's not God. Okay? These are some European people who I've never met. And you know this. And your own scriptures tell you do not make graven images, bow down to them, or worship them, for the Lord thy God is a jealous God. And for that, it doesn't really matter. No, it doesn't really matter. But the factual statements that's attributed to Ron Paul, that the racist people are saying are racist, that bothers you. We understand the difference between being an open bigot and a concealed bigot. Okay? We respect the open bigots. They're the Klansmen, they're the Nazis, they're the people that say what they truly feel, and we can respect them for that. You are a bigot, and we know it. Yay! But then there are the other bigots, the people who we know are bigots, but pretend that they're not really bigots. You know, talking about, he's a Muslim, then you know you're a bigot. This reminds me of, I think the guy name was Jimmy the Greek, I think his name was. This was this professional gambler. And Jimmy the Greek made a factual statement. And the bigots who didn't like him demonized him all. They demonized this guy all the way out of the public eye. Right? Jimmy the Greek made a statement saying that black athletes are superior athletes because they were conditioned to be that way due to slavery. They were bred, the strong male was bred with strong female, and they were bred, so they're physically superior athletes. So the bigot says, oh, this is a racist statement, what are you saying this, and blah, 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 and they ran this guy out of the public eye. Blacks were conditioned to be physically superior, okay? Because they were conditioned for labor. Remember, blacks were domesticated cattle. That's fact. You don't have to like the fact. That's what it is. Just like they demonized Jimmy the Greek for saying a statement of fact, they're trying to demonize Ron Paul by saying these are racist statements. These aren't racist statements. There's a difference between racist statements and statements of fact. Here's a racist statement. We're not going to use the National Defense Authorization Act to lock up American citizens. No. We're going to lock up all the other people. That's a racist statement. You're saying American people won't be discriminated against and be locked away without representation, but you'll use it against the non-Americans. Yeah, that's a racist statement. That nigger in the White House, that's a racist motherfucker right there. Okay? So hate my profanity and kiss my ass. I understand. Most people have simply become conditioned. The NAACP are a bunch of boot-licking, ass-kissing Prince Hall flunkies. They believe if they play the game for the man, they'll get ahead. They've got nowhere. They're just a bunch of tools. Just like Louis Farrakhan talking about the mothership coming, fooling black folks. The mothership ain't come yet. Maybe it came and left. And then they really Farrakhan, that's a clone. Yeah, really. This other imposter, Al Sharpton. What happened to Liberty? Now he's on MSNBC. He's a bitch. Okay? These are nothing but tools put in front of you to mislead you. Talking about their pastors. If they were true pastors, when they were brought that lie called the King James Version and the Gideon Version, they should have told them, no, we don't want that. We don't want the version you want to give to us. We want to read what you're reading. All these people saying Ron Paul is a racist, and I go look at some of these statements, and it's ridiculous to believe that you're saying factual statements are racism. It doesn't even make sense. Like, where is your common sense? When Ron Paul is telling you, listen, you can't deal with the world as if you're masters over slaves. You have to deal with them like, hey, they're intelligent people like we are. Let's work together and we can accomplish goals. It's our earth. We have to work together. It's not going to be the American way. It's going to be the human way. We have to work together as human beings. We have hypocrites like Jesse Jackson, liar, Al Sharpton, who went from Liberty to MSNBC, Louis Farrakhan, who just happened to not make the mothership. Okay. And these are the things that are facts. These are the true things you follow. Yeah. But this type of stuff, yeah, Ron Paul is a really bad guy for telling us the facts. Or rather, he's facts are attributed to Ron Paul, so we should hate him. He's a racist. Ooh, okay. Okay. All right, then. If I have a choice of supporting Ron Paul for these alleged statements, I can recognize these facts. Since when I grew up, I was told the police was my enemy. And it wasn't until I became an adult I realized I was surrounded by criminals. Okay? Criminals raised me. Alright? Now I know better. Okay? If these statements are attributed to Ron Paul or anybody around Ron Paul, don't be mad at them for speaking the facts. A next one. Here's another one. This one is funny too. It's about carjacking. It says, the hip-hop thing to do among the urban youths who play unsuspecting whites like pianos. How is that a racist statement? This is a statement of fact. Throughout California, throughout New Jersey, they've made the movie New Jersey Drive based on the fact that urban youths were jacking people for their cars. Cars that most black people couldn't afford. Whites could afford them. So they went after the value of a car that whites owned. Okay? They attributed under the statement to Mr. Ron Paul, saying that he told people when these criminals come, you must get your gun and so forth and so on. Listen to me. That's a fact. Okay? If criminals are coming to steal your stuff, get a gun. Put a bullet in their ass. Okay? We just saw the other day on the news where these two men attempted to break into this white woman's house. And she called the cop. She says, hey, there's two guys breaking into my home. Can I shoot them? And the cop said, yes. So she shot one. He is dead. And the other one that lived is charged with the murder. She is hailed as a hero. When Ron Paul say do this, he's a villain. But when the cops say do it, the cop and the woman are heroes. Once again, you're just a bunch of hypocrites. That's all you are. And because you're living in your hypocrisy, you go along with things you're told to do because it's comfortable. Don't worry, here's the Quran, and don't worry that it's a trial from God and God is testing you. You should not take the slaves, but don't worry, if you're promised a reward, take the slaves. Yay! And you go with that. Okay. Alrighty then. I believe in God too. When I drop dead, I have my deeds. When you drop dead, you'll have slaves. Alright. Okay. Okay. Another important note in closing. I have realized that the most important possession every soul have in any republic is your power to vote. That's the most powerful thing. It's the only thing of true relevance is your power to vote. I want you to understand it's incredibly important that you free yourselves from the delusion. You have to snap out of it. Okay? You can only tell yourself the lie for so long. But just ask yourself this question. If you believe the source of life is alive, when you drop dead and go before that source of life and he questions you about these things that you feign ignorance about, when he asks you, weren't you told don't do to others what you don't want them to do to you? And you say yes. And then he asks you, well, didn't the National Defense Authorization Act took away a person's liberty? It allowed your government agents to take people and lock them away. And when they say, I need to be represented to protect myself from what I'm accused of, they were told, no, we're not allowing you to do that. The National Defense Authorization Act gives us the right to not allow you to defend yourself. When you drop dead and you go before the source of life that you profess to believe in, and he questions you about these contradictions that you are told that you knew were contradictions from the same book, from the same pastors telling you the same lie, and you watch them on MSNBC sitting there after they were professing they supported liberty, lying to you. You can only fake ignorance for so long. Don't worry. Wait like I'm waiting. Going to drop dead and go face God, you're going to be asked these questions. What's your answer then?